Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications so you will not miss a future video. Welcome to the channel, The Tech Piano Player Kid. A black background with white text that reads The Tech Piano Player Kid displays on the screen with the same text written to the right in Braille. What is up, everyone? The Tech Piano Player Kid here. And before we continue, I just want to let you know that if you hear background noises in my video at some points because they're still doing construction at our house, which has been going on for quite a while, and I hope it's almost done. This is what happens when your parents decide to have a house built, and we'll just say that things don't go to plan that they seemed to go, if that makes sense. Anyway, today I'm going to be doing a video and tutorial of a new device for the blind. And this device comes from the National Library Services for the Blind and Print Disabled, or NLS BARD for short. And it's actually a really cool device. It's really cool. And this is the Braille EReader. And it basically looks like a miniature version of a small Braille note. I mean, that's really what it is. You just can't create documents and stuff like that. It's just to download Braille books or newspapers and magazines and stuff like that. Audiobooks you cannot listen to because, well, hence the name, Braille EReader. So if you are a member and have a account with NLS BARD, you can call your NLS library in your county or state or whatever the number is for you and ask them if they have a device like this, the Braille e-reader or something similar. If they have it, then let them know that you're interested in getting one of those and they'll help you through the process. Again, it's completely for free, no charge, nothing of the sort. You just go through the process, they'll help you, and you should receive it within maybe in a week or two, depending on how fast the shipping is. So let's go ahead and jump to it and review this device. Okay, so here's the device right here. You have, this looks like a small version of a Braille note. You have your standard keyboard, your Braille display, cursoring buttons. On the front here, you have your thumb keys. Let's see if I can get that in the frame. Here we go. Hopefully you can see that. That's the thumb keys. You have a button in the middle. That's your select button. On the right here, you have two volume buttons, obviously volume up and volume down. Now, these don't have normal functions. Is that a hint? I'm not going to say that because I don't want to get in trouble with NLS. But anyway, on the side here is a USB-C port. You have your power button, and then you have a USB-A port on the side that basically allows you to plug in a thumb drive or using that cable for the cartridges. And then on the back here on the left, you have your SD card slot. Again, with the volume buttons, again, they don't have a normal function. I have a suspicion what they can do. But again, I'm not going to say what it is because, again, I don't want to get in trouble with NLS. I mean, not that I would, but still, I don't want to say it because theoretically, I'm not supposed to know what it does. So, yeah. And here's the case right here for the device. You have this little flap thingy that will tuck behind the device. And the way you do it is you take the device, have it with the display facing towards you, essentially, not facing towards you, but on the bottom, and then the keys on the top, like the way you would have it flat on the surface like a regular Braille note. Lift up the flap, and then just slide it into the case. No, I can't get it in now. There it goes. Well, maybe. There it goes. It slides right in. Now, with these little there's little things on the sides that will allow you to connect a lanyard to it that comes with it. You'll have to put those in first and then kind of wiggle it into there. It's going to be a little bit tricky, but it can be done. And then once it's in all the way, make sure the corners are folded up. So the nuggets are facing upward towards the ceiling so the case can close properly. And then on the back, you tuck the flap behind the device so it keeps it in place. And now it's in its case. So it looks like this in its case, like that. And then to close it, you just screw like that, and you can close it like that, like with magnets. And then you can reopen it like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and learn how to set this up. So I have it as close as I can back to factory defaults, or it's exactly how back to factory defaults. Now it's not at factory defaults, but I just removed everything. But I downloaded it and removed the network, so you get the idea. So I'm going to press and hold the power button until it vibrates, which it did. And then on the display, you have It's starting with these little dots going in a circle. You can see that, but it shows that. And then after a few moments or so, a couple seconds, it will go to the main menu directly, and our first option is Book Reader. And it is already in UEB, which is actually kind of surprising. At least for me it was. So we have Book Reader. Our next one is File Manager. I'm using the spacebar to go to the next options. Date and time, Braille display, settings, online services, battery info, user guide, and power off. Let's go ahead and go to our settings. Oops. There we go. Our settings, hitting the letter S and then hitting enter. Now we have user settings. Our next one is Braille profile, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, software update, about, and close. So I'm back at user settings. I didn't click on this, but I'm just back there. I'm going to hit the letter W for Wi-Fi, hit enter. And right now it says Wi-Fi off. But if I hit the space bar, it says back. So obviously that's all you can do. So I'm going to hit enter on Wi-Fi off. It says loading with these little ellipses flashing, and now it says Wi-Fi is on. At the space bar, now we have status, which means the status of the connection. So if I hit enter on this, it says Wi-Fi not connected. Obvious, because we're not connected to a Wi-Fi network. Our next one is MAC address. This is basically a special address of consisting of letters and numbers that identifies this device, so the network kind of knows who it is, essentially. You don't really need to worry about this unless you have a complex network that you have a whitelist to connect to a network and stuff like this, but we don't have that. That's more for advanced settings and stuff like this. So yeah. So we go back, and our next one is new connection. We also have launch connection and delete connection and network settings. Network settings is like we can change it from DHCP and static IP. DHCP is our normal thing. That's where we will keep it at. But static IP, if you're curious, that basically allows you to assign a manual address if you have a network that's configured that way. Personally, it's not really necessary to do that. So unless you have like an Ethernet plugin, which this doesn't have one. So we're going to go to the new connection, hit enter. Now we have a few options more. Scan for SSID. Our next one is WPS connection. And WPS is old because that's just old and it's not very secure. So I don't really know why they have it on here. Personally, it doesn't make sense, but whatever. And then manually connect is where you do the stuff manually, like you import, like you just enter the stuff manually. Again, that's a little bit more advanced if you are into networking stuff. We're not going to do this. So we'll go for scan for SSID. I'll hit enter, and it's loading with these little ellipses flashing. And now we have our available networks. Now, as far as I know, this can only support 2G networks, 2.4 gigahertz networks, but that's okay. So we have a couple networks here. I'm going to select our main network here. I'll hit enter, and it's asking for the password. Again, if you don't know this information, ask if you are in, if your kids are, living with your parents and stuff like this, or, you're not familiar with this kind of stuff, ask your parents or a family member or whoever you're living with for the network information, and then they'll give it to you. So the password is typed in grade 2 Braille, which I think is a lot easier than computer Braille, to be honest, because I think it's just easier. So exclamation point is 235, dollar sign is .4, and then letter S. Number sign is 3456. That's where you would type in numbers and stuff like this. And the letter sign is .56. So if you have, let's say you begin with the number 1025, in this case, let's say number sign 1025, and the next one is a letter, you have to do the letter sign, which is .56, which tells the note taker or this machine saying, hey, I'm going to type a letter, not a number this time. So that's how that works. And then you have capitals in there. So let's say you have a capital letter at the beginning, in the middle of it, let's say capital A, and then a lowercase. You just go to capital A, then lowercase m, and then so you have two capital, let's say L, O, for example, you do capital L, then capital O, and then you keep going. That's just easier for me because there probably is a way to do an N capital with UEB, but I don't know if it would work here in passwords and stuff. So I'm going to type in our password here for our network. Oops, not that. There we go. Can't type. There we go. All right, after it's done, you go to OK and click Enter, and then if it's successful, it'll be twice. It's loading right now. There we go. Connection successful with an exclamation point. I'm going to Enter again, and it will probably beep again twice. There we go. So we're connected. So just for giggles, I'm going to go back, and we're going to go to, well, if I can find it, status. So now it says SSID, our network name. Signal strength is excellent. IP address, it gives you the IP address of the network. MAC address, the MAC address of the device. And that is it. So we're going to go back. And I'm going to get out of this here. Close. And there we go. Now let's learn how to configure and adding your accounts for your online services for NFB Newsline and NLS Bard. All right, so let's go ahead and learn how to configure and adding our services for NFB Newsline and NLS Bard. Before we continue, another good command to know is the main menu command, which is space with the letter M as in Mary. So that's a good command to know. Check the time is entered with T, and the date is entered with the letter D as in dog. And again, time is entered with T as in Tom. So if you check the date real quick, it says May 13th of 2022, which is correct. And enter with T for the time, it says 12:04 a.m. That is not correct. So we will have to fix that. And we will fix that here in a little bit. So let's go ahead and go to Online Services and Enter. And now we have NLS Bard and NFB Newsline. Let's do NLS Bard first. It doesn't matter which one you do first, but in this case we will. And username. Username is your email address, most likely. The @ in this case for regular Braille is .4 and then .1. Not together, separately. So .4 and then .1. All right, and then once you type that in, go to the password, select that to get into the password field. So you're using the cursor running button or the enter key. Same thing with the username. Just make sure you're in there so you know it's in the edit field. And then I'm going to type in my password here for my Bard account. Oops. Let's see here. What was it? I believe it was this. Oops, not that. I mistyped something, guys. Hold on. Okay, there we go. And once you've done, go to connect and enter. It says loading. And it says login successful for me. Cool. So we'll hit enter again. You'll get out of that. While we're in here, let's go ahead and download a book just for giggles. So let's look at the options here. So we have most popular. Our next one is most recent books. Next one is most recent magazines. Browse categories, browse magazines, search collection, wish list, previous downloads, and remove account and back. So let's say you're not really sure what you want to get. You just want to see what they have here. So in this case, I already know what I want, but let's go and browse the category. So I'm going to browse category and hit enter. And now a bunch of categories pop up. We have adventure, animals and wildlife, arts, astronomy, and astronomics. I'm just reading a couple here. Biography, and so on, so on, and so forth. Now, I want to mention something real quickly here. There are two categories that are very, very similar. There's one that's called For Very Young Readers, and the other one is Very Young Readers. Personally, I think those two should be combined so it doesn't cause confusion. I don't know if that was a mistake or that they meant to do that. Who knows? But in this case, let's hit the letter S. And our first one is scary stories. We don't want that. Hit the letter S again, and we want school fiction. So I'm going to school fiction here. And now we have a bunch of options, again, bunch of books here. So we have, let's say something like the Broccoli Tapes, The Day the Dragon Came to School, Horrible Harry in Room. Okay. So you get an idea. So there's one that's called Punctuation Takes a Vacation. So that one's pretty funny. I just have the letter P to go into that one. So let's say I want that one. I enter on it, and right away it comes up the option download. Or let's say I want to see what this book is about, just out of curiosity. So I'm hitting the letter space. And our first one is add to wish list. So you can do that if you want to come back to that later on. Title, that's the title name of the book. Hit space again, you have a book number, so each book has a different number. It's kind of like it's not an ISBN, but it's in this case like a book number, so people can search in the catalog, for example. Number of volumes, here it says 2. I don't know why it says that, because it's only 1 volume, so maybe that's just a mistype. I'll have to ask them about that. Subjects, so that means what's the type of subject or category. In this case, it's humor-school fiction. The authors or author, it goes by last name. In this case, it's Pulver, Robin. And the description of the book. So in this case, I'll read it here. It says, when all the punctuation marks in Mr. Wright's class decide to take a vacation, the students discover just how difficult life can be without them. For grades K-3, 2003. So K through 3 just means it's through kindergarten through 3rd grade. Again, Bookshare may have something different if it has it. It may say something like kindergarten through 2nd or 1st through 3rd, but it's around the same. Or maybe have K through 4. I don't know. And then 2003, I believe, is when it was published. I could be wrong, but something like that. So let's hit the letter D until we get to download. And for us, it was the first option. So I'm going to hit enter. And it says loading with an ellipsis flashing. Download completed. So obviously, you notice oh, okay. It does work that way. Interesting. So once download is completed, you just have to wait a little bit until that just disappears. Or if you just want to hit enter, you can get out of that as well. All right. So let's hit... Can I do that? Nope, I can't do that. So let's close that. I'm just going to keep closing this so I don't have to keep going around this stuff. Actually, let's just do space with M, just to go back to the main thing. So that took us right to the main menu. And let's go ahead and add our NFB Newsline account. So I'll go back to online services. Oops, not that button. There we go. And hit enter on that. And again, we're back to NLS Bard. We already have that done. So space, it goes to NFB Newsline. Hit enter. Our first option is configure account. Our next option is manage publications. If I hit enter on this, obviously it won't let us do anything. It says invalid credentials. So we can't do anything here. Our next one is sync content now. So again, that won't work because we don't have an account on here. And back. So let's go to configure account, and we hit enter. Surprise, surprise. Our first option is add account. Our next option is update frequency. That means how many times frequently do you want this to check for downloads, I think. And then the other one is keep outdated issues. Keep outdated issues. That is up to you. Again, with the frequency, I just keep it where it is. Let's go ahead and add account. So I hit enter on this or select it. And our first one is username. It does put us in the edit field automatically. So our username is your 6-digit identification number with NFB Newsline. So I'm going to type it in here. And we'll go to the next one, password. And then hit enter to select it, or one of your cursor running buttons or the select button in the middle, whatever works for you. And you enter your PIN number. So whatever you use to set that up. So it's usually a 4-digit number unless they changed it. And we'll go to connect and hit enter on that and select it. It says loading with an ellipsis flashing and login successful. Cool. So actually, and after that says that, you just have to wait a little bit and then that'll disappear. Unless you want to just hit enter and get out of it, you can do that too. But waiting also will make it disappear. So once we're in there, I'm going to go and close this. And then we can go to Manage Publications and enter on this. It has a loading with an ellipsis on it. And then right away, our first option is Breaking News Online. So let's just say I'm going to go to this one here. Again, I'll make this friendly as possible. So Kids Reading Corner. Hit enter on that. And it's loading. And we already have some downloaded here because it automatically does that. So if you have a couple here with some hyphens underneath it on these articles, that means it's downloaded already, or you already have it selected to download. So a couple other ones here you could download is Stone Soup, whatever the heck that means. Highlights, J space 14. I have no clue what that is. So let's go to highlights just for giggles. Hit enter. And it hyphenates it automatically. So it says it's selected to download. So I'm going to hit C for close, hit enter. I'm going to go to the very top here with the 1, 2, 3 with space. Hit the thumb key. That would help you go to the next line. So the previous line thumb key. Go to close, hit enter. And I'm going to go to sync content now. And hit enter on this. It has a loading with an ellipsis on it. And it may give me a loading error because it's probably already downloaded. Okay, never mind. So now it says new issues 5. All right, that's fine. So everything is downloaded. So I'm just going to hit the right with okay. It says downloaded 1 failed. Okay, I don't know what that means. So let's try that again. Download sync content now. And maybe one of them. Okay, new issues 1 downloaded. New issues 1 downloaded. Okay, so we're good now. So it just didn't download the first one, so I did it again, the same content now, and it downloaded it again. So we're okay. Download that one that didn't work. You'll get that sometimes. Again, technology can be weird. So let's do space with M. And let's go to Book Reader. Now, if it didn't do this correctly, then we may not have to do it. So we have the one I downloaded here before, the Animal Tales. We have highlights. April, then we have highlights again. National Geographic, punctuation takes a vacation. So 1, 2, okay, 1, okay, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay. So we have 6, and then obviously the book itself. So everything is going to be in your book reader. So you want to go to book list in there, and then you see all your articles and stuff like that. So we have Animal Tales, June 1st, 2022. Animal Tales, May 1st, 2022. Highlights, April 1st, 2022. All of them have online in parentheses at the end, so I'm not going to read that. Highlights, May... Whoa, what? Okay, Highlights, May 1st, 2022. National Geographic Kids, April 1st. And National Geographic Kids, May 1st. And both of them 2022, and then punctuation takes a vacation. So I'm going to close this and close the app. Okay, let's go and fix this time thing here because at 12:16 a.m., that is not the correct time here, guys. So to fix this, I hit the, why isn't it working? Oh, wrong command. Hit the letter D from the main menu until you get to date and time. I'm going to hit enter on this. And our first option here, obviously, is the time here. Not obviously, but I guess, surprise, surprise. So it doesn't matter where you are exactly, but if you're either on the date or time, you can do space with H, and that will take you to a menu where you can change the time, the date, daylight savings time, time format between 12-hour and 24-hour, date format. In the US, it's MMDDYYYY, and back. So let's go ahead and change the time here. And I'm going to ask my Amazon device what time it is. So please mute your device on this one. Alexa, what time is it? Okay, so here we go. So it's 8:17, so I'm going to take this off. And I'm going to put this 1 minute ahead here because it's probably going to turn 8:18. So it says AM/PM. Right now it's an AM. So I'm going to select this, and immediately it changes to PM. And then there's the OK button. I'm going to go and select this, and voila, it's changed. And let's say you want to change the date, make sure the date is correct. Then, well, you can go into that. Oops, you can go to change date, hit enter. And it's the same concept. So you go, it says change year, end of the year, and 4-digit number, 2022 is correct. Month is May, that's correct, which says 5. And the day, 13, which, you know, if it wasn't 13, then you can always change that. But I'm going to cancel this, and there you go. I'm going to hit the letter B to go back, just get out of this. Close app, and there you go. So now check the time. Enter with T, 8:18 p.m. Enter with D as in dog, May 13th, 2022, and that's also correct. All right, finally, if you just want to put the thing to sleep, your device to sleep, you just push the power button and it goes to sleep right away. To wake it back up, you just press the button again and the display turns on. If you want to power it off, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can either press and hold the power button until it vibrates and then click OK to shut down, or from the main menu, and there goes beeping because it's connected to Wi-Fi again, you can hit the letter P for power off, hit enter. Also gives you a vibrate, it's saying shut down. Hit the letter O for OK, hit enter, and it says shutting down with 3 ellipses at the end. And once it's shut down completely, it will vibrate twice. Maybe. There it goes. And at the same time, the display goes blank and it has these 4 signs the way it always would show on other Braille devices. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you guys have any questions, please put them down in the comments below or send them to info@TheTechPianoPlayerKid.com. You can also follow me on Twitter, tech_piano, and you can also follow me on Facebook, The Tech Piano Player Kid. And you can also give me a text or call me at 913-312-1325. And if you do not live in the United States, you can give me a call through WhatsApp as well as text me there as well. Everything is down below in the description. And with that in mind, I will see you all later in the next video. God bless you all, and peace. The Tech Piano Player Kid is out. Thank you for watching today's video. Please do not forget to subscribe, turn on post notifications, and leave a comment down below. If you have any questions, please email info@thetechpianoplayerkid.com. Please also follow my Twitter at tech_piano. A black background with white text that reads "The Tech Piano Player Kid" displays on the screen with the same text written to the right in Braille, then fades to black.